Tonight on CTV News at 6. Residents are breathing easier.
Even small municipalities can raise their voice and make a big impact and have the power to influence big decisions.
Radioactive waste isn't going to be trucked to a community west of Sudbury after facing criticism over expenses.
You start to see where your tax dollar is being spent and how it's being spent.
North Bay City Council amends its accountability and transparency bylaw. And repair work is underway.
We just pumped some water into the tower to see what would happen, and water came out the top.
This longtime fountain in Timmins will soon be operational.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Ryma and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Glad you could be with us on this Wednesday, August 13th. An update on the stabbing in downtown Sudbury. Another suspect has been arrested late this afternoon. A 26-year-old man was picked up in the Durham and Larch Street area. On Monday night, officers were called to Elm and Durham Streets, where they found a 41-year-old with multiple stab wounds. His assailants had fled the scene, and the 41-year-old was taken to hospital, where he remains in critical condition. An hour later, police were called to the Energy Court area, where a 23-year-old man had also suffered multiple stab wounds. Shortly after, police located and arrested a 17-year-old they believe was responsible for the attack on Elm Street. The two stabbings are believed to be separate incidents, and police say the victims were known to their attackers. Police believe two more suspects are still at large. Copper thefts in the Temagami and Martin River areas are being blamed for cell phone outages. OPP reporting today they received reports of telecom fiber damage, resulting in major disruptions to cell service. They increased their presence in the communities affected today as the outage was impacting 911 service for customers. Police are still investigating the theft. For service updates, you need to contact your service provider. Drugs and multiple fake guns were seized in a police raid in northwestern Ontario. Last month, OPP executed a search warrant on Fort William First Nation, seizing drug paraphernalia, suspected cocaine, imitation firearms, $1,500 in cash valued at nearly $13,000. A 2010 Ford Escape was also seized. A 25-year-old Thunder Bay man and a 40-year-old woman from Fort William First Nation face charges. There is a sigh of relief in the small community west of Sudbury after the province reversed its decision to haul radioactive waste there. CTV's Angela Gemmell has this update.
People are ecstatic. I just was driving down the road and people are like waving. So everyone's happy with the outcome.
That was the response from administration at the township of Nairn and Hyman after receiving word that niobium rock tailings would not be hauled to nearby Agnew Lake. The Ministry of Transportation sent a letter this week saying it had canceled those plans. The news comes after the community banded together to push back.
We really believed in our cause, and we really believed, and council agreed with us, that to do everything you can, and then you know that you've put the effort in, and if they still decide to do something you disagree with, at least you know you have done your part.
The waste is from a former mine site on Nipissing First Nation, but does not belong to that community. The niobium will now be moved to a site near Sarnia that deals with hazardous waste. The township feels the provincial government listened to their collective voice expressing concerns.
Even small municipalities can raise their voice and make a big impact and have the power to influence big decisions. So I think if there's other municipalities that are maybe facing something similar, they can learn from what we went through.
The chief of Nipissing First Nation understands the persistent advocacy from Nairn and Hyman. Her community did the same thing when the abandoned mine site was first discovered. They pursued answers from the Ministry of Mines.
Why does it have to be here? Let's clean it up. So then we demanded testing to know what exactly is there. It was because of our community department, our lands department, that we brought some voice to the issue.
Chief Stevens says the niobium should all be cleared from Nipissing First Nation by the end of this year. Meanwhile, Nairn and Hyman says the remediation plan for the Agnew Lake tailings area will use clean materials to repair and mitigate the site. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Sudbury.
Landmark in the city of Timmins is getting a reboot. A water fountain that's around 50 years old and hasn't worked in recent decades is going to flow again. CTV's Lydia Chubak has more.
Scaffolding is one of MSN Contracting's core services, and now that it's the proud owner of this 50-year-old tower and fountain, Mark Norcom has decided to make it pretty again.
So we start off by getting a pump from across the river, which was donated by Gorge Rental. We just pumped some water into the tower to see what would happen, and water came out the top. So we said, okay, that's step one. Then we got people honking, going by, and we're like, oh my God, wow. So then we decided, okay, well, let's refurbish this thing.
Norcom says his company is committed to seeing this project completed, as long as there are no issues or delays with any required permitting.
Yeah, most definitely it's going to be a fountain again. It may not look identical to what was there, but definitely I promise it's going to be a beautiful fountain for the city of Timmins. And so we hope that everybody can appreciate what's going on, what's happening here for our community.
The structure is located on the banks of the Matagami River in a high-traffic area along Riverside Drive. Norcom says the pinnacle was a safety concern and had to be removed. When the fountain's flowing again, river water will cycle through it and back into the river. Norcom says testing the fountain was a spur-of-the-moment idea and feedback has been encouraging, and he would welcome support from other businesses and organizations to make this a community project. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Timmins.
The city of Sault Ste. Marie has closed the Bellevue Park kayak and canoe launch after it was discovered the dock was missing. The city said in a statement today, the launch was discovered missing Sunday morning. The special boat launch was installed in 2021. To replace this well-used amenity could cost the city as much as $20,000. There is no information on how it disappeared, and officials are asking the public for their assistance in locating it. It's another good day to be on the water to cool off from this heat. With the latest on the conditions, here's CTV's Rick Wyman.
I know, Tony, you're just yearning for an update on when it's going to rain. We've got that coming up a little bit later on the 7-day forecast. Current temperatures, pick of the day, and a lot more. Our systems map, we do have some precipitation about to approach the northeast coming in from Manitoba and Saskatchewan. And of course, it'll bring some rain. It looks like Saturday could be the day, so we'll keep a close eye on that. Also some nice weather and rather comfortable temperatures too. Heat warning is over, and of course no immediate threat of thunderstorms or severe weather. So we'll have some details, current temperatures, and a lot more, Tony, all coming up.
Thanks, Rick. Tomorrow is History Day in Kagawong. The community has a rich history and beautiful historic landmarks like the Old Mill. The community will be hosting activities at the Kagawong Park Center, where displays of old home movies and photographs dating back 100 years will be set up. There will also be a panel discussion with local historians at 3:30 p.m. and 7:30. The event is free, but donations are welcome. Municipal politics still to come on CTV News at 6. We head to North Bay and actions taken by council there. First, we're going to head to Timmins and Gillies Lake. It's a good place to be on a hot day. It's 19 degrees. We're back after these commercial messages.
Love your local businesses?
Watch CTV News as we spotlight the incredible people behind your favorite shops.
This week we visit the amazing people at Jen's Closet, where they buy and sell used clothing.
Shop local and show your love.
Time now for a look at the mayor's chair. Once a week, we check in with local mayors to see what's happening in their community and some of the situations they're dealing with. Joining us tonight in the mayor's chair is Mayor Michelle Boileau from Timmins. Mayor Boileau, thanks so much as always for joining us.
Oh, thanks again for having me in.
Well, let's start with some of the bigger issues I know you guys have been tackling. One of them, Leo del Villano Park. Council in June agreed to award a $325,000 contract to redesign it. The project has now changed. There was some controversial comments and there was some back and forth. Where does the project stand now, and where do you stand with it?
Well, I mean, at this point, the focus is on moving forward some enhancements in the Leo de Villano Park. The scope of the project has changed based on the discussions that have taken place around the council table and based on what we've been hearing from neighboring residents and community members. And so, a decision was made at this past week's council meeting to remove cricket as a component as part of the redesign of the Leo de Villano Park. However, we do intend to move forward with, building a cricket pitch, regulation size cricket pitch here within the city of Timmins. But the decision was made to remove that component out of the redesign of this park and to move forward with some of the other planned upgrades to the park, to tennis, to include pickleball courts, and to explore necessary improvements to the washroom facilities there. So, I think I'm pleased to see the project's going to continue moving forward. I think we've learned a lot from the process over the past few weeks, the past few months, in terms of how to communicate these kind of projects, both to the public as well as to council.
Speaking of recreation, the skate park, the multi-action sports facility park, sounds like it's getting the go-ahead, and it could be pretty massive, huge investment from Timmins in terms of recreation. I mean, your thoughts on this? I mean, this is going to be a pretty big, solid, I would say, investment towards parks and recreation.
Yeah, we hope so. We've talked before, Ian, about this council's priorities. We have 7 priorities, and recreation is one of them. And so it's definitely something that we've been focused on. The multi-use action sports park is something that I know quite a few councillors have been working, wanting to realize for a few years now. And there's this opportunity to include some climate change adaptation features into the park, and with some funding opportunities available through the FCM's Green Municipal Funds. And so it's exciting that we could pursue this kind of innovative environmental solution, something that could be useful in the city of Timmins, in the location that we're exploring, that is along the Matagami riverbed. And so we do see flooding annually. And so this kind of innovative project could be well suited in the city of Timmins, can access, some funding. And so I think it's one that definitely has a lot of merits and worth exploring.
Finally, for us, we know there's going to be a Timmins delegation likely on its way to the the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, the AMO meeting, and it's a great time to rub shoulders with provincial ministers. And I know there's probably stuff on Timmins' wish list. I'm wondering if there's anything you can share with us that might be on Timmins' wish list. I mean, the Premier recently said while he was up in Thunder Bay that he'd be all for divided highways, including Highway 11. I mean, is that something you'd like to see happen, or what do you want to see for your city?
Yeah, I mean, our delegations will primarily focus on the city of Timmins and transportation within the city of Timmins. So we do have a delegation with the Ministry of Transportation to talk about some bypass routes and some solutions for some of the industrial activity that's really coming up in the area. And so we have to look at some better ways to direct some heavy traffic around the community. So that's something we want to talk about with the Ministry of Transportation. We're also looking to have a conversation with Solicitor General around the cost of policing.
Mayor Boileau, thank you so much as always.
Oh, thank you.
That's Mayor Michelle Boileau from the city of Timmins.
Thanks for that, Ian. City Council in North Bay is amending its accountability and transparency bylaw to include quarterly and annual reports of council members' expenses. This follows the ongoing controversy involving Mayor Peter Chirico and his expenses. CTV's Eric Tashner has the latest from City Hall.
Good evening. As the City Council meeting began, a handful of protesters were picketing outside, calling on Mayor Peter Chirico to step aside.
At this stage of the game, to save the city the embarrassment.
Inside, more frustrated members of the public.
The next appropriate course of action, the majority of council to vote on an independent auditor's report based on what happened, because we don't have the full picture.
Council voted to amend its accountability and transparency bylaw to include transaction details of council members' expenses dating back to the beginning of the term posted to the city's website. The report will include details including payee, date paid, amount, and a general description of the nature of the expense as it relates to city business.
You start to see where your tax dollar is being spent and how it's being spent, and maybe it raises questions of how valuable was that conference or how valuable is that purchase.
This all stems from the $16,000 in personal expenses Chirico put on his city-issued credit card in 2023 and 2024, which were approved by CAO John Severino. The scandal has made national headlines and put North Bay on the map, but not in a good way.
Attracting that kind of attention, I think that certainly has an effect on the city's reputation.
The OPP, the Inspector General of Policing, and Integrity Commissioner Guy Giorno are all conducting separate investigations into Chirico's expenses. The Inspector General is also directing Chirico not to perform his duties as a member of the city's Police Services Board. And Chirico is no longer on the Northern Ontario Heritage Fund Corporation Board. Council is still waiting to hear back from Giorno.
Hopefully some clarity on what transpired and give us some direction on how to move forward.
An in-camera motion about an identifiable individual was pushed by Councillor Sarah Inch to be brought into the public's eye, but was rejected by other councillors. For many in attendance, that's not enough.
The city has to change.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Back now for a check on your current conditions. Once again, here's Rick.
Beautiful waterfall behind you there, Tony, on the monitor for this evening. It's a nice night, and some of the temperatures compared to last night, a big drop from maybe 10, 12, 8 degrees compared to what we experienced yesterday with the heat warning. Here we go with a look at the forecast radar. Some rain coming into the forecast by perhaps Saturday right across the northeast, anywhere from 40 to 60%. We'll talk about that. Just a couple of minutes. Some current temperatures, all with the Humidex reading. In some cases, not that high, but in others, it's okay. Moosonee at 16, Cochrane 17, Timmins 19, Kapuskasing overcast at 16. Here we go. Mainly cloudy in Chapleau, Wawa 20, Sault Ste. Marie 24 with the sunshine. Parry Sound 31 with the sunshine down Highway 69. In North Bay 29 with the Humidex. Temiskaming Shores 26 and Kirkland Lake cloud cover 23. 30 in Greater Sudbury with the Humidex. Espanola 31, Elliott Lake 30 and Gore Bay at 31. Tony, 7-day forecast and our pick of the day all coming up. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Rick. Help for Ontario businesses next on CTV News at 6. The province is providing financial relief for companies impacted by U.S. tariffs. And Air Canada is cancelling flights as its labor dispute with flight attendants lingers. Ontario is allocating up to $1 billion of loan support for businesses in the province's steel, aluminum, and auto sectors. The province is trying to bolster those hardest hit by Donald Trump's tariffs. Ontario Finance Minister Peter Bethlenfalvy made the announcement at Queen's Park today. Bethlenfalvy says the funds from the province's Protect Ontario financing program are specifically designed to address businesses impacted by tariffs only after they have exhausted all federal tariff support programs. The move is already being applauded by some in the affected industries.
We applaud the Ford government for moving this direction. The Premier and his cabinet have always been steadfast in their support of the automotive industry because I think they have a clear understanding of how much the automotive industry means to the Ontario economy. Hopefully we don't have to resort to using these funds, but I think it's useful for both those in the vehicle manufacturing sector and the parts manufacturing sectors to know that they exist and know that the province and the federal government have their back.
Air Canada says it will start cancelling flights tomorrow to allow for an orderly shutdown of operations as it faces a potential strike by flight attendants. All flights by Air Canada and Air Canada Rouge will be grounded by the weekend. Customers whose flights are cancelled can get a full refund. The decision follows a 72-hour strike notice from the union representing 10,000 flight attendants. In response, Air Canada issued a lockout notice for early Saturday morning. The airline said yesterday it reached an impasse in talks after the union declined to enter binding arbitration. The key issues are wages, work rules, and unpaid hours.
Our members are still going to work. Our members are still there greeting customers, still doing the unpaid portions at the beginning and still attempting to get people to their destination as long as the planes are flying. There's nothing at this time that we've said, okay, stop doing. So it should be business as usual from the employee standpoint.
Air Canada Express is the only Air Canada option for travelers leaving Northern Ontario airports, but those employees are with a different union and not part of the work action with the main airline or Rouge. Greater Sudbury Airport explained in an email to CTV, passengers with connecting flights could see cancellations, saying while flights departing from the Greater Sudbury Airport are served by Air Canada Express, operated by Jazz Aviation, and may be not directly impacted by the labour dispute, passengers with downline connections onward could be impacted and should continue to refer to Air Canada for the most current information. The Canadian Union of Postal Workers is set to resume talks with Canada Post as they try to come to terms on a new contract. The union says it has agreed to meet with the Crown Corporation on Friday and Monday. Both sides met with federal mediators yesterday. The talks come after postal workers rejected the company's latest proposal. Negotiations have been ongoing for more than a year and a half. The union says a national overtime ban remains in effect. U.S. President Donald Trump held a virtual call with European leaders and Volodymyr Zelensky, who is in Germany, hearing from them before meeting with Vladimir Putin in Alaska on Friday. CTV's Mike LeCouture has more on Trump's stance.
There has been a notable shift in President Trump's tone this week when talking about Friday's meeting. He's gone from saying Ukraine should be ready for a land swap to now saying Russia better be prepared for some serious talks.
I don't have to say there will be very severe consequences.
President Trump with a stern but vague warning to Vladimir Putin if the Russian president isn't serious about negotiating in Alaska. Now, if that meeting does go well, the American president wants to move quickly towards another summit.
I would like to do it almost immediately, and we'll have a quick second meeting between President Putin and President Zelensky and myself if they'd like to have me there.
European leaders emerged from a video conference with Trump this morning saying all agree. Any change to Ukraine's borders must be decided by Ukrainians. That call was to shape Friday's discussion. While Zelensky won't be at that table, he hopes the central focus is a ceasefire. Putin is bluffing about wanting to end the war, Zelensky told reporters, as well as European leaders and Trump. After a separate meeting of European countries and Canada, the Coalition of the Willing released a statement saying it is ready to implement military plans to support Ukraine in the event of a ceasefire.
We're ready to support this, including through the plans that we've already drawn up to deploy a reassurance force once hostilities have ceased.
When that could be remains an open question. Russian forces have reportedly pushed into territory held by Ukraine in the Donetsk region.
The only thing that is going to put an end to this war is if the U.S. gives a lot more military aid to Ukraine and allies itself with the Europeans and Zelensky.
President Zelensky has been pushing for more economic sanctions on Russia to cripple its war machine, something Trump has been reluctant to consider so far. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
There's more news still ahead, but first, here's your full weather forecast with Rick.
Well, it's a nice night, and we do have a nice forecast, Tony, and I'm really happy to say that because we've had some really, really humid weather of late, warmer temperatures and the threat of storms and thunderstorms, but it is, or at least it has turned for the better. We've got some precipitation moving into the northeast by Saturday, perhaps Saturday, 40 to 60% chance of showers in some cases, but you know, it's not all that bad because there are some dry areas across the northeast. This is supper time on Friday night, so we'll keep a close eye on that just in time for the weekend. Overnight, Greater Sudbury 13, comfortable. Sault Ste. Marie 13, Timmins, the big 4. Temiskaming Shores 8, North Bay 12. Meanwhile, in Moosonee for this evening 5, Caphurst 4, Wawa 9, Gore Bay 15, and Parry Sound 14. They look like spring conditions, at least overnight right now, but here it is approaching mid-August. Sudbury Nickel Belt, here we go, sunshine.
Tomorrow, Friday, 22-27, chance of showers. Here we go at 40%, Tony. 26 your daytime high. Sunday, 19. Monday, Tuesday, 21 and 22. Nice temperatures, slightly below normal. Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, sun and cloud tomorrow, 23. Sunshine Friday to kick off the weekend at 28. 22 Saturday, chance of showers. Sunday, 20. Monday, 20. And only 22 Tuesday with some sun and cloud, a few degrees below normal. Timmins Cochrane campus casing sunshine tomorrow at 20. 26 as it perks up Friday. Here we go, Saturday, chance of showers, 24. Only 16 Sunday with the cloud cover. Monday, sun and cloud, 19 and 21 Tuesday, more sun and cloud. But again, sunshine in the forecast, not so hot as what we experienced this week. Let's have a peek now at Temiskaming Shores and Kirkland Lake. Sunshine for a couple of days, 21, getting warmer at 26. Saturday, 28, 60% chance of showers. The odds of that happening, pretty good right now. Sunday, some cloud cover, 17. Monday, sunshine and 21. Another 21-degree day on Tuesday with the sun and cloud again below normal temperatures. And finally, North Bay, West Nipissing. Here we go. Mainly sunny skies for tomorrow at 22. Warming up to 28 on Friday with the sunshine. Now Saturday, you'll get the odd sunny break and the chance of showers at 40%, but warm, yes, 30 degrees. Sunday, cloud cover 17. Monday, 21. Tuesday, 21. Sun and cloud both days. So again, below normal, but nice weather to kick off the week. Now, let's have a look at the illustrious pick of the day. Fire in the sky, you say? Why not? Amy, thank you so much from Wikwemikong. Great pick here, and again, depicting the changing conditions, especially with the heat. This was taken just last night, and Amy, I love the shot. Great pick. Keep it coming from the island. So again, stick around for more news with Tony, and again, it's a nice note, really nice night. Tony expecting rain. You'll have to wait till Saturday.
This summer, 2 students are joining North Bay police officers on downtown patrol or at community events. Naomi and Morgan are 2 youth in policing initiative students shadowing officers. They are assisting with community engagement by promoting the Lock It or Lose It campaign. The YIPPY program is in collaboration with the Ministry of Children, Community and Social Services. Since 2009, the program offers youth aged 15 to 18 meaningful work experience within the police environment while empowering them to become leaders.
In grade 11, I took a dual credit at Canadore, the Police Foundations, and I really loved it. I knew that I wanted to do a service.
We've just been helping out downtown, going on patrols. It's been really fun. It's great seeing all the people who are appreciative over the police service.
Exposure to what your passion may be really can solidify whether it's something that you wish to do for a career or not. I know Naomi is focused on a career in social work, and Morgan has aspirations to be a police officer one day.
Both students are organizing a bike rodeo at the end of summer to teach students basic bicycle safety before school starts up again. A Manitoba cheesemaker brought home 3 medals, including a gold from the American Cheese Society competition. CTV's Harrison Shin was down at the creamery today.
First place, then they called our names, so it was like, oh my goodness.
Meet Fabiola Della Pria, a local cheesemaker who made Manitoba proud.
So we won first best fresh cheese into the Spanish-Portuguese category of North America. So all the way from Mexico to here, we are the best fresh cheese.
And no one can stop her.
We also won on 3rd place for best grilling cheese of North America for the Spanish category, and then best season spread as well. Third place best season spread.
She cannot hide her excitement.
This category here over, I think, close to 30 different cheeses of the very same special kind. So we won over everybody. So it's very nice to have a title like that.
The award ceremony was surreal for her.
I was like still shaking from the first place, and I was hearing my name from the other, because the categories were like very close together. So I was hearing like that we won again, and then we won again. So we won 3 out of the 4 submissions we sent.
But a local wholesaler and grocer is not surprised.
It's very versatile, so a lot of restaurants are using it on their dishes, on their plates, really promoting local. So I was super excited when she won the gold medal in North America, which is amazing.
Now, Dela Pria is looking to expand.
We're actually in talks to send this to Vancouver and Quebec right now. So soon, Quebecois and Vancouver will be able to try our cheeses as well.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Steinbach.
A 92-year-old pilot returned to the skies over Alberta, flying the same kind of plane that started his career in the Royal Canadian Air Force. As CTV's Miriam Valdez-Carletti tells us, the flight happened because of a chance meeting and an act of kindness.
It's been 70 years since Ron DeHolke flew inside a Harvard aircraft. He trained in this type of plane as a pilot in 1956 for the Royal Canadian Air Force.
The training program was leading to the fact that if there was a war, you're going to be able to fly a fighter, and defend your country, so to speak.
Last weekend, DeHolke struck up a conversation with pilot Brock Allison at the Cooking Lake Airport. It just so happened Allison owns the same type of iconic plane DeHolke once flew in.
Brock was nice enough to offer me a ride, so here we are.
Giving the former pilot a chance to fly again was a no-brainer.
People like Ron, are a connection with history. Here's a real live person that used to fly these planes and was training in the Air Force.
Standing beside the yellow plane turned the clock back 7 decades.
I've got that same feeling again today because it's been such a long time since I've been in one. So I feel like I'm starting all over again almost.
With a bit of help, he's back inside the cockpit. How do you feel?
Excited, just nervous, happy.
Ready for takeoff.
He still remembers the power settings that he would use for takeoff, climb, cruise, aerobatics.
Taking a try at the control wheel in the air, DeHolke is transported back to his 20s, grateful for a chance to relive his past.
Brock, I am so thankful I can't even express it.
A smooth ride all around, with only one regret.
I didn't want to do a loop. I should have tried one, but I'm chicken. But man, it was fantastic.
Miriam Valdez-Carletti, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Toronto Zoo is now home to 2 new residents. The shaggy coated cows are set to make their public debut this weekend. And today, CTV's Allison Hurst got to meet them.
They're moving in, and the pair of bovine brothers are planning to stay.
I definitely like their fur. They look kind of silly with all their hair and stuff. Their horns, too, they're really cool.
A sneak peek for zoo members like Cheryl Monahan and her grandchildren, who planned today's trip to see the zoo's newest additions, these 9-month-old Highland cows.
I was in Scotland 2 years ago, and it was the first time I ever got to see a hairy coo and pet it. It was wonderful, and they're gentle. They really are gentle.
They remind me of my little brother Lachlan.
And how?
Because he has kind of red hair like them.
This pair is from Ontario, but their lineage can be tracked across the pond.
The Scotland Highlands is where Highland cows originated from. They can be looked back in the history books all the way to the 6th century.
Mark Branson says the brothers, who don't have names yet, are here to stay, and the average lifespan is 10 to 15 years in a zoo setting.
The intention behind them is our outreach and discovery team will be working with them each and every day to go through the various positive reinforcement training to get them acclimated to potentially walking around the zoo eventually.
Jenna McQuegan says Highland cows are her daughter's favorite animals.
I think it's just we've seen them in different cartoons, and also they're just really adorable. So I think that might just be what it is.
They look like one of the movies.
Gina Snyder's children love all farm animals. So they had to come check out the cows.
I think they just like that they're nice, to be honest. And they're so cute. It'd be great if they were standing, but we'll take what we can get.
Perhaps exhausted by the heat wave this city is experiencing.
They're so cute. They're really cute.
Starting this weekend, the Highland cows will be visible to all zoo guests. Allison Hurst, CTV News.
Yeah, those cows are adorable. Where's the exit sign? Still ahead on CTV News at 6. A North Bay viewer captured this video of a deer in his backyard. A study was released that shows the ideal nurse-to-patient ratio is 1:4. However, there is no legislation in place to protect that ratio in Ontario. More now from CTV's Madison Merrier.
A study was conducted by Dr. James T. Brophy and Dr. Margaret M. Keith, funded by the Ontario Council of the Hospital Unions Canada Union of Public Employees. The research shows that hospital staff shortages have led to an increase in workloads, poorer patient outcomes, and loss of public confidence.
This is the 5th report we've done in about 8 years, Dr. Margaret Keith and I. And we were looking at the working conditions of healthcare workers. We started off looking at violence in the workplace, which has become more and more known publicly that it was, that healthcare was one of the most dangerous workplaces in the country.
According to NANO's research in 2023, 43.6% of 750 healthcare workers said that violence had increased since the beginning of the pandemic.
When it comes to nursing, there's that horrible line of it's a part of the job. And that is completely false. It is not a part of the job. At no point should any nurse feel demoralized, physically hurt, emotionally hurt.
The retention is a big problem. Attrition is a problem. People in their 40s are saying, I can't wait to retire. If I can get out earlier, I'm going to. And at the same time, there's this, government report that we're short by 2027, 33,000 nurses. So there's this incredible problem.
Fleming says she can't even be upset with the frustration patients feel when they are admitted to hospitals, as they are also feeling the impacts of staffing shortages.
So hearing it come from the BC that it is now in the legislation is going to work better for us in the long run. When we hear about Nova Scotia, I am thrilled to hear that they have achieved that language in their collective bargaining.
Nurses are really good at asking things for their patients, at advocating for their patients. They're very good. Very seldom do they ask for things for themselves. They are speaking up right now.
Fleming said that many nurses care for more than 4 patients, and the ideal ratio is 1:4. According to the report, any more than 4 could be detrimental to patients.
The devastating part of it is I need to prioritize at that moment who I'm going to care for. And that is where the moral injury and where we're starting to lose our moral compass, because we're left and faced with prioritizing somebody else's life.
Nurse-to-patient ratios save lives. They reduce, medical errors, the length of stay, readmissions. They reduce mortality.
Gélinas has put forward a proposal to legislate that 1:4 ratio. This report adds pressure to the government to respond, and Gélinas hope the public will too.
Don't hesitate to speak up. Say that you support nurses, that you support this. The more people speak up, the faster we will win.
Madison Merrier, CTV News, Sudbury.
A pilot program is putting talented students from Toronto Community Housing into the halls of one of Canada's top neuroscience centres. We get the details from CTV's Pauline Chan.
I sent well over 100 cold emails before I finally got a position in a lab, and that was sort of my first opportunity that turned into more opportunities and eventually led me down this path.
Dr. Kareem Mathani's experiences led him to create the next neuroscience program, a new partnership between Sunnybrook Health Sciences and Toronto Community Housing, inspired by similar past programs.
So we are home to 100,000 residents, and 29% of the residents are young people. So young people up to 24 years.
One time I wanted to be a firefighter. Another time, for many years, I thought I would be in the NBA.
Caleb Wamiki just finished grade 12, and his 2 months at Sunnybrook have inspired him to switch to a career in neuroscience.
I think it's the most interesting system in the body, the nervous system, because it controls your mind, it controls voluntary movement, it controls your breathing, all these things that we don't even think about.
Before this, I never had the opportunity to come into a physical lab, coming to a hospital, seeing people, and this is their day-to-day job,
Nabayat Fasaha had always been interested in science, but never dreamed she could get a paid summer job in a top neuroscience department.
I come here from 9 to 5. It's just seeing if I want to do this in the future.
Dr. Neer Lipsman says their goal was to expose promising young students to neuroscience and hopefully ignite their careers.
Everything from brain technology to emerging ways of interacting with the brain to studying the brain and to studying patients, that was really our goal.
This year there were 4 students in the program, 2 grade 11, 2 grade 12, but next year they hope to expand that number in the next neuroscientist program. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
A case of West Nile virus has been confirmed in a bird in Wawa. Algoma Public Health says the risk of being infected is low, but with the announcement of the bird's case today, it's reminding the public to take precautions when outdoors. West Nile virus spreads from infected mosquitoes. Public Health says to wear light-colored clothing, use insect repellent, and keep bare skin covered as much as possible, especially at dawn and dusk. Distraction thefts are when criminals use diversions to steal valuables, such as your wallet or cell phone, but it's often expensive jewelry they're after. Police have charged 1 man with robbery and dangerous operation of a vehicle after a theft in Richmond Hill turned violent. CTV's Pat Foran has details.
Did they give you both of these items?
They just give it to me. I'm giving it free, actually.
VJ Vikrant of Mississauga says it was last month when he was parked outside a grocery store. A woman approached him and said she was celebrating a birthday by handing out free jewelry. She put a gold-colored chain around his neck.
She did like this. And, close the hook.
Moments later, she was gone, and he realized she had removed his gold chain, which was worth thousands of dollars and had sentimental value.
This chain itself is about 60 to 70 years old. I inherited it from my father.
What he received was made of cheap plastic that looked like it came from a dollar store.
It happened so fast, actually. I just could not believe myself.
Woman gets back into the vehicle. The lady looks down, realizes the bangles from her wrist have been removed, and she has this essentially junk jewelry left behind.
York Regional Police laid charges in a case where a 78-year-old woman received serious injuries. After her jewelry was taken, there was a brief struggle and she was knocked to the ground. Radu Oracel, 35 years old, is a foreign national. He was charged with robbery, theft with violence, and dangerous operation of a vehicle. Police say many distraction thefts appear to be part of a network of organized criminals in Canada illegally practicing criminal tourism.
They're just here to commit their crimes. Unfortunately, a lot of the ones that we arrest are not Canadian citizens. They have not arrived here lawfully.
Police say as well as parking lots, distraction thefts are also happening at post office boxes. And in Ottawa last week, 90-year-old Terry Thompson had her ring stolen outside a retirement home.
She was gone in about a second.
Vikrant had planned to hand down his gold chain to his son, something he's no longer able to do.
I really feel very, very bad. Be very careful. Somebody tries to give you something.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Netflix's K-pop Demon Hunters is getting a special theatrical release. David Daniel has that and more in the Hollywood Report.
Family living died in America. Good old USA.
Beyonce has an Emmy to go with her 35 Grammys. The performer won a Primetime Emmy for costume design for her Netflix special Beyonce Bowl. She's up for 2 more awards for the show at the 77th Annual Creative Arts Emmys, September 6th and 7th in LA. K-pop Demon Hunters is having a moment. The breakout animated musical series has topped the Netflix rankings and the Billboard charts. Now fans can take part in K-pop Demon Hunters, a sing-along event in theaters August 23rd and 24th. Tickets go on sale today. More info at singkpopdemonhunters.com.
Gentlemen, we've got company. These here are my brothers, Tony, Mikey, Vinny, and Braden.
Braden, right. Suits you. The podcast trio goes up against the mob in the new season of Only Murders in the Building. Guest stars include Renee Zellweger, Christoph Waltz, Taya Leone, Bobby Cannavale, Davine Joy Randolph, Diane Wiest, and Meryl Streep. Season 5 of Only Murders in the Building premieres September 9th on Hulu. Following the clues in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Canadian apparel company Gildan Activewear is buying American company Hanesbrands for just over $3 billion. The deal will give Gildan access to well-known brand names such as Hanes and Maidenform. Hanesbrands has been struggling in recent years and hasn't turned a profit since 2021. The company's put the transaction's total value at about $6 billion when Hanesbrands' debt is included. Gildan also makes products such as American Apparel and Pets.
We are not getting old.
Last week's Ontario Summer Games 55+ were a huge success, according to the city of Greater Sudbury. More than 1,000 people came to the city to participate or cheer on athletes competing in this year's games. The city says the feedback from visitors was positive, and officials estimate the city brought in $1.2 million in economic benefit. And here are the current prices for some key commodities. We watch gold up $7.87, closing the day at $33.55, 93 US an ounce. Silver up 59 cents to end the day at $38.50. Copper moved ahead 2 cents, and nickel up a penny, ending the day at $6.78 US a pound. And Rick is back now for one last look at your Thursday weather.
Tony, I think I want to give pickleball a try. It looks kind of interesting. Hey, why not? Let's check out our conditions for tomorrow. Sunshine in Sudbury at 22, Timmins 20. Sault Ste. Marie, we've got some sun and cloud as well, so a nice day at 23. Meanwhile, in North Bay, 22, mainly sunny. Humidex of 32, Parry Sound. Not too bad, some sun and cloud. And Temiskaming Shores, 21, sunshine. So, Tony, sorry, no rain. Just loads of sunshine for tomorrow. Back to you.
It's coming Saturday. Thanks for that, Rick. Finally, a viewer recently found an unexpected furry visitor in his backyard. Alain Lacoste of North Bay sent us this video where this deer found itself in a peculiar predicament. Lacoste said the curious fawn discovered the hard way that while the grass may be greener, the fences are definitely higher. Not to worry, though. The deer did escape once Alain opened the gate for him. Oh dear. And folks, that's CTV News at 6. I'm Tony Ryma. Thanks so much for watching. More news comes your way at 11:30 with Amanda Hicks. Good night.